see if this is gonna work. Just worked a second ago and now it doesn't seem to be working, so we'll see what happens. Ah, there you go. Black Jesus, can you hear me okay? Hi guys, sorry. The little intro thing I didn't bother doing just because I didn't really think this was going to go live right away. So, welcome to Trucking Along with Kiersey. That's me, your positive voice in trucking. My audio is good. Yay! So we'll give it a second for people to come in, but give everybody a quick update. Cassie that I had in my videos, my TNT student, we thought she was gonna be on a wait list for a truck. They told us there were 200 people waiting for trucks because we didn't get a shipment in that we were supposed to. And so I decided, well, I haven't been back home to Jersey in over a year, so I decided to take home time here, and I'm still here. I'm leaving back out tomorrow, but she got a truck. Yay! So by the time I get back, she's already going to be going through the upgrade process and moving on to her truck, which is cool because that means I go back to the backing pad and get to do my CDL instruction again. Hey Derek, how you doing? How are you today? I've been getting your messages, but I've been in Jersey visiting my brother. We've done a lot of stuff this week. It's been real fun. Starwin, I have not seen you in a long time. Stephanie, thank you. I appreciate that. You know it's fake, right? But I got them in different colors and stuff. They were on sale. My mother used to tell me, when life gets out of control, like, you can't change the rest of your life, change your hair. So that's what I used to do, but coloring it and all that just ripped my hair apart. But being in Jersey, I thought it was a cool idea to talk about firearms on the road and carrying on the road. New people are always concerned about safety, and I didn't realize until I got out on the road how important firearms are to some people across the country. I grew up in Jersey. Hi Muppet, how you doing? I grew up in Jersey. That's a very blue state, and we, here in New Jersey, the only people that have like guns are criminals and business owners. Is really what it comes down to. You just forget about concealed carry, open carry. People don't talk about it. They might have something that's in their home for protection, but you certainly don't see it walking around, and they all treat you as if you're some kind of crazy nut if you want to carry a weapon. So I really wasn't expecting to see. It was almost like a culture shock. The first time I went to Indiana, I saw this guy come out of his truck, and he had a big gun. I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. It was like the biggest handgun I've ever seen. Like, looked like some kind of Dirty Harry type of thing, like a 44 Magnum. It shoots through schools and a tree outside and that sort of thing. So, oh, that's my brother calling me now. Hey Scott, how you doing? RN, nice to see you. Hey Elite. But it was just like, it was a little unnerving. You get off a truck and you're not used to it, and then all of a sudden you see this big guy with a gun, and and he has this scary looking t-shirt that says, "My family, my faith, and my firearms, don't F with me." And I'm like, holy crap. And it's a little unnerving. Like I said, it's a little shocking. After I got on the road, I realized it's actually a way of life for some people. And some of the people in here, Elite and I are friends, and he was saying, well, back in high school, the guys just used to have, rifle racks on the back of their pickup trucks when they went to school. And it wasn't something to be afraid of, it was just something that was normal. And when you take, that kind of normalcy away from a group of people, it creates fear because they don't understand how the firearms work. One thing that I seem to get a lot, that I seem to get a lot, you know what, I thought there should have been some wrenches in here, and I don't see wrenches in here. Huh. But no, Elite has a wrench. I'll give Black Jesus a wrench too. I usually give out wrenches to the people that have channels, because most of my subscribers are all new people, and so with the new people, I want them to be able to go see some other channels. And if you're willing to stick around, at the end of this video, at the end of my show, at 7 o'clock Eastern time, I'm going to go bounce onto a channel that's Prime Instructors. So if you're interested in that, make sure you come see us. Hey Tim, how you doing? Because that channel is called Unapologetic Instructors, and what they've decided to do is they got a whole bunch of different instructors that are all making videos on one channel. So, and Tim says, I carry when I'm home. Scott says, I couldn't kill a fellow American. Muppet says, I seen your funny vid. Well, thank you. One thing that seems to happen though is that people carry and they don't realize going from state to state is a really big deal. And I think the same way that I was a little unnerved when I saw people in states like Indiana and Arkansas and Missouri carrying, I think that people from those states don't understand how much trouble they could really get into by going into states like California and New Jersey. There's been a lot of changes with the Supreme Court lately, and hopefully things will become better. It's just crazy because the more divided this country is becoming, the more and more gun purchases there are. Hey, little Ms. Goff. Little Ms. Goff, I've seen all your videos. Oh, that's so nice. I really need to comment more. Yeah, it's culture shock. And my mother was very against guns. She raised us where she had guns and we knew it, but we never saw them. She had them hidden from us. And so I never actually saw her guns. I knew she had them, but I didn't know where they were. And I don't think she's ever fired one. I don't think she ever went to a shooting range, which goes back to the whole idea of, even if you have a weapon, if you're not training to use it properly and you're not training to be safe with it properly, that's a whole nother reason for somebody like me who was raised, without weapons, to be afraid of them, and to not understand all you guys that were raised with them, that it's not a big deal, it's just a part of your life. When it does become a big deal is when you want to take that away from somebody. So after a couple years I was out on the road, my mother said to me, where do you feel safest? And I told her, I said, Indiana. And she was like, what? I said, oh yeah, you walk through a truck stop in Indiana, everybody's packing, so I know I'm perfectly safe. And she says, how could you be safe with all those guns around? And I said, because I know if I scream and yell for help, somebody's going to come chase somebody down, even if they just want the opportunity to fire it or help somebody, or feel like they're doing something. One thing that did kind of scare me, I really wasn't sure how the weapons worked. Little Miss Goth says, the only one I ever saw was my dad's deer hunting rifle. Yeah, I can understand that. So, one thing that I was afraid of was, okay, so I'm getting used to people around me having these firearms, but are they stupid? Are they going to fall out of somebody's jacket pocket and they're going to accidentally drop it and it's going to shoot me? It's going to fire me? You know, I really didn't know anything about that. And that made me kind of nervous. I moved to Missouri now, which has a totally different philosophy when it comes to firearms. So because of that, I'm learning a lot more. And I've even been target shooting, and I'm not telling anybody to go carry any truckers. What I'm saying is make sure that you know the law, make sure you know your company's policy. The owner ops, as long as they're doing it legally, they're running under their own insurance. However, if you own the truck but you're running under somebody else's authority, you have to abide by their policies. And if you get caught, it may make it difficult for you to go to another company because they're going to put that you failed to obey company policy. So realize you're putting yourself at risk financially. And there are people that'll say, well, I'd rather be judged by, a jury of 12 than carried out by in a coffin by 6. But the truth of the matter is that if you wind up someplace in New Jersey, that jury of 12, they're not going to feel empathy for you. They're not going to think the same way you are. They're going to say, oh yeah, hang them. And you just might wind up in prison for a decade because of something stupid that you didn't even realize. That happened where there was a trucker in New Jersey. The weapon was in a box. It wasn't loaded. The ammo was separated. He got pulled into a weigh station up in Bloomsbury, New Jersey. And they asked him, do you have any weapons? And he said, yeah. Well, it wound up that, he admitted that he had weapons, and in New Jersey they weren't registered. New Jersey is a very tough state. I didn't even realize, like where we are, you have to not only get a permit to buy a gun, you have to register the gun so that it's tracked. Then you have to have a permit for concealed carry. So there are so many different rules that go into this. And so that trucker got 4 years because he was abiding by the laws of the state that he's from, that he assumed it was all going to be a matter of reciprocity, and it's not. I'm pretty sure that, like in Missouri, you don't need a carry permit. Okay, anybody can carry in Missouri. You can't conceal carry without a permit in certain places. So Kansas City, for example, I could open carry, I could conceal carry in Springfield with no problem. That's a state law. But in Kansas City, they require a concealed carry permit. So most people in Missouri, it just seems like they just go get the permit. And then that permit, like if I went to Arkansas, if I went to Oklahoma, there's like 23 states, I think, honor Missouri's permit. But you have to look to see where you're going. And you have to understand, like, what are gonna be the situations that I would need that I would pull it out. You really need to get training. You have to understand the laws. In one state, there's stand your ground. In another state, there's not. One state, castle doctrine will cover your vehicle also. But in other states, that's not true. Because of castle doctrine in certain states covering the vehicle, it actually also covers your commercial vehicle because we sleep there. In another state, that may not be true. Like in New Jersey, you basically have to run away. You have to get to the point where you run away, or at least prove that you tried to run away before you could defend yourself. And That's really, really scary. Elite, I'm not sure what you meant by that. Were you trying to be gross? Please don't be gross. Ghost pepper spray. Yeah, you know what? I carry pepper spray. You know. But and even that, like, there are different size weapons, like as far as knives. Like, I'm pretty sure if it's above 3 inches in Michigan, that's illegal. I only realized that because another YouTuber got, she went into the weigh station, and they asked her, um, they asked her, do you have any weapons? Do you have any drugs? Anything like that? And she wound up with well, yeah, I have a knife under the seat. Well, that just gave the cop probable cause to search the truck. So then he asked, can I search the truck? She says no. She gets into a big fight with him, and then I'm a woman, I'm black. No, it was because she admitted that she had a weapon in the truck, and then I found out it was an illegal weapon, which made it worse. So know where you're going and understand what the ramifications are. If you're going to be in states that are more strict, not only do you have to have a plan of when and where, like how you're going to pull this weapon, but you need to know what's going to happen. You have to have a plan of what's going to happen if you get caught and you need to use it. There are a lot of different organizations out there, especially on YouTube, that can teach you some of the laws in these states and how to handle yourself. And there are some insurance, I don't want to say insurance companies, but there's memberships that you can use that will actually help get you an attorney in the event that you ever do have to pull the firearm, or to help you if you get charged for any kind of firearm like that. They can x-ray the truck. That's right, crossbow. Hey, no, crossbows probably aren't legal in Jersey either. Arkansas trooper entered my truck because I admitted to having a knife. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, you just gave them probable cause. You admitted that you had something. So, is this freezing up, guys? Because it's weird. It says it's giving me some kind of a error, but then down the bottom it says I have great connection. Yeah, you know what? Even pepper spray. For a long time, there's little stun gun type of things that just basically fills in like a 9-volt battery, like flicking at your hand. That they weren't allowed in Jersey for a long time. Pepper spray wasn't allowed in Jersey either. So only certain people were allowed to carry certain things. So make sure you know what you're allowed to use. People just make a lot of assumptions sometimes, but no, it's fine. Okay, cool. Hey, I want it to butter my Texas toast. Okay. Oh, okay. See, I don't know. I'm in a hotel and I used their Wi-Fi, and I was trying to hook up with the StreamYard because I wanted to be able to bring people in. And Elite and I were trying to play with it, but it doesn't seem to want to work for me. And our guess is I have to go buy a new laptop. So I got a new microphone. I got new headsets. Now I need to go buy a new laptop. But I am going to be going back to Springfield soon, so I'll be able to do that. So, something else to consider when you're going to carry, it's not just the places that you're going to as far as states and the laws there, but it's also the customers you're delivering to. Most customers aren't going to allow you, or at least it's not permitted on their property. And again, this goes back to state law. So some states, if there's a sign that says, no weapons on our property, and you bring that weapon onto the property, you're not actually breaking the law. If they find it and then they tell you have to leave, at that point you're breaking the law if you don't leave. That's the way the law is in Indiana. But there are other states that once you bring the weapon onto the private property and it actually states, no, you're not allowed to have that weapon there, at that point, you're breaking the law. You can be charged. So, a trespass, exactly. So, you really have to know what you're getting into. And like I said, have a plan, go through YouTube. I'm amazed. And I did wind up buying a weapon. And no, I don't bring it on the truck. Prime doesn't allow it. Most of the mega carriers are not going to allow it. So make sure that you know what you're going into. I do have friends that work for smaller companies, and they tell me that their bosses don't care because their bosses are, more concerned about, the trucks and their private, their persons. But, when it comes to huge lawsuits and things like that, that's something that, no, Prime doesn't want me getting hurt. Of course they don't want me getting hurt. But at the same time, if I do wind up shooting somebody, okay, who's going to get sued? Suing me isn't going to give anybody any money. People sue people, companies that have deep pockets. So it's not just an issue of the product or the truck or the trailer or anything like that. It's also the liability for millions and millions of dollars, which jeopardizes an entire business, which could affect tens of thousands of people that work there. So it's a much bigger idea than what you think. And relying on the idea that 12 people in a jury are going to side with you, that's gambling with your life too. So think about that. Hey Snapper, how you doing today? Tim says about every customer we got, you can't bring a gun on the property. Well, exactly, because it goes back to the same thing. Nobody wants to be held responsible. But I do get so many new people that wind up saying, well, I need to carry. So I got a question for you guys. The ones in here that don't carry, okay, because I know that there are some people in here that do, and you said it earlier, so I'm not letting a cat out of the bag. But the ones in here that don't carry, what do you do out on the road to protect yourself? I have pepper spray that sprays 25 feet. It's actually the same pepper spray that the police have contracts for. There are people that have told me that, they'll take the seat belts and wrap them around the handles on the inside of the truck to keep the doors locked. Snapper says, how you doing, in my Jersey voice? I'm doing good. How you doing? But, one of my friends used to take a rope and she'd tie him between both door handles and then through the blowhorn, the air horn line. Because if somebody opens a door, that's going to blow. In a truck stop, people are going to start yelling just because you're annoying them because you're blowing the air horn. But at least it's going to have somebody run around. Hey, unapologetic instructors. Okay, everybody in here, I want you to please go subscribe to Unapologetic Instructors. No, I didn't get your email, but I didn't look. But I'm going to give you a wrench right here. Unapologetic Instructors is a group of prime CDL instructors that work with me out on the backing pad. They all have a lot of experience. They all have hundreds of students under their belts. I'm going to guess that's Oren right there. So, Oren, I was telling everybody, oh, no, that's Fitz saying, sent it to my email. Okay. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over to my email And I'm going to go and, no, I won't. All right. We're all going to, after this live, we're all going to go over to unapologetic instructors, because I really want you guys to go give them some love and support. We're going to have a little discussion tonight of what it's like to be a woman trucker and a woman instructor. And we didn't practice this or anything. And so there's no script. It's just going to be, a few people just talking and keeping it real. And with that channel, there's all different instructors doing interviews and putting up videos and talking about the way they do things. So it's kind of cool. It's a cool idea, especially for new people, to see how different instructors think and different truckers work things out. Orrin, Mr. Jones, he just did a video the other day about trip planning, which I didn't get to watch, but I want to. So, for the new people, that's really important. Mrs. Red Monkey Trucking says that they have an aggressive killer pit bull. They have aggressive killer pit bull to attack for them. Trucking with Old Snapper says, but I don't know what it's like to be a woman trucker. Well, that's the whole point. You come over and you find out. Oh, Tennessee Flatbedder. Okay, here's another guy that you guys have to go. I'm going to give a wrench to. Go subscribe to Tennessee Flatbedder. He is also an instructor over at Prime. Flatbed, obviously. He works out on the backing pad, has great advice, is always so helpful. And I think it's really good for people to see different people's, Black Jesus says protect them by hitting them with the fire extinguisher. Now, I'm curious, did you mean shoot the fire extinguisher at them, or did you mean hit them with it? Look, Snapper says pepper spray, knife, fire extinguisher, tire thumpers, whatever you got on hand. Oh, that's funny. Muppet says I watched Dave from Smart Trucking. Snapper says I trained a lot of female drivers and they never told me what it was like. Okay, well, Bryson, if you carry yourself in a manner that says I'm not to be screwed with, you shouldn't have a problem. Hi, Bryson. Well, that's true. Like, one of the things that really upset me, and I was going to talk about it on the other channel tonight, before I came into trucking, there was a woman who, the video's still up, she did a video that basically said, if you're a woman coming into trucking, you will be raped. And she was like, cast your eyes down, don't talk to the men, don't look them in the eyes, don't talk to them. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, really? Like, that's just terrible. And so I've never been treated disrespectfully out here, and when I didn't feel like it was just because I was a woman. I felt like that person would have yelled at anybody, and being from Jersey, having been a postal worker for 17 years, having grown up with 4 brothers and sisters, I'm going to fight back. I'm not going to be an easy target. It goes back to situational awareness that I constantly teach to my students. You need to be aware of all of your surroundings in trucking. You need to be able to figure out how much space do I turn when I'm backing up. Am I backing up between the red and white truck? Because if I'm not lined up right, I might not be able to see that red truck. So I need to know it's there. Situational awareness. But it also goes to the people around you and situational awareness that way. Shape World, how you doing? I was just telling them about when it was you that got in Michigan with the DOT